people that have been betrayed, whether it's through adultery, whether it's through pornography or sexual anorexia, and that is a real thing. How are you? Really sharp.
I discovered that he was having an emotional relationship, if you will, with someone, and that it had turned into an improper relationship.
The situation, including counsellor Denise Boggs, suggests that Lisa actually wanted reconciliation.
He say that she abandoned him. That's his excuse, that his ex-wife abandoned him. The ex-wife is running his business. The ex-wife, from his own lips, we have other recordings where he said she was a faithful, good wife, a great mother for 30-something years, maybe 36, I'm not exactly sure, but over 30 years. And this part is the sad part. She was begging him to stay and not leave her. So when I hear one woman is begging this man to stay, a wife of his youth, and another woman saying, no, he's mine.
I didn't start talking to Doug until he was divorced. And we were just friends for a while, and then it turned into more. I went to people that I trusted and said, hey, I know I'm in a position where people are watching. I want to use wisdom, and I'd like for you to come and help, us walk through this relationship.
How to end an affair. And here's the dilemma that you're going to face. You want to be a good person to everybody. Everybody wants to be liked. And you've told both people that you want them, your spouse and this person. And this person's different than your spouse, because all two people would be. You need to identify what you're getting out of it. You also have been building dreams with both people. You have the dreams of your spouse and how you're going to retire, kids going to college, what life's going to look like. And then you have the dreams of vacations and fun things and all kinds of creative sexual encounters. You have to understand why this affair is so important to you, or why you're even having an affair. Ending it's very hard.
Mentor.
Is that ever appropriate?
I think it's very dangerous. Absolutely. The emotional connection that comes, unless this is a professional therapist.
Have you ever worked hard for something only for someone else to take it and refuse to give you anything in return? Jonathan Lamb's position has been taken from him, leaving him with nothing.
Your mother's request, we called you back in here so you could, John could talk to you. And we'd give you 24 hours from the time we signed this. That's roughly 2:30 to 3 o'clock tomorrow. If you can sign that, come back in to Arnold's office, sign the piece of paper, okay? Read it, do you comfortable with it, and then sign the piece of paper tomorrow. You have until basically, I say 3 o'clock. That's 24 hours from the time that we sign it. If you do not do that, then you are removing yourself from the board and removing yourself from your vice president position.
Welcome back, faithful souls. Today, we're diving into the latest trending updates on the shocking clips, and perhaps the many scandalous videos you just watched about Daystar TV, the Heart-to-Heart Counseling Center, and its connections to Dr. Doug Weiss and the late Marcus Lamb. Let's get started. The scandal surrounding Jonathan and Susie Lamb continues to dominate headlines, with fresh revelations surfacing almost every day. Major media outlets and online platforms are buzzing with updates, and just when people think they've heard it all, another shocking twist emerges. One of the biggest bombshells? Netflix, the global streaming powerhouse, has reportedly shown interest in turning Jonathan and Susie's story into a gripping documentary. If this happens, it could bring their claims against their parents into the spotlight like never before. However, not everyone is thrilled about this possibility. Some voices are pushing back against the idea, raising concerns about the potential impact and motivations behind such a project. But that's not all. Independent content creators on YouTube who have covered the scandal are now allegedly facing backlash. Reports suggest that some of them are being targeted through smear campaigns and intimidation tactics designed to silence them. This has raised serious questions about who is behind these efforts and what they stand to lose if the truth comes out. And then there's the latest revelation from Julie Royce of The Royce Report. In a jaw-dropping interview, she sat down with Melanie Contreras, a former insider at Daystar TV. Melanie didn't hold back. She exposed shocking details about Marcus Lamb's years-long affair and the elaborate cover-up that followed. The interview has sent shockwaves through the community, leaving many wondering just how deep the deception ran. Adding fuel to the fire, A recent post by an ex-user of Twitter, now simply known as X, sent the internet into a frenzy. The post claimed that Netflix had already reached out to Jonathan and Susie about turning their experiences into a documentary. Excitement and controversy erupted as people debated whether this would be a step toward truth and justice, or just another media spectacle. Fun fact, despite Joni Lamb telling Susie Lamb she has no platform, except for the one she gave her, and would take away. Despite the Daystar PR team claiming nobody cares about the story anymore. Heads up. 3 days ago, a director and executive producer for Netflix reached out to Jonathan Lamb and Susie Lamb to discuss filming their documentary. Cheers. The media announcement set off a storm of reactions. For supporters of Jonathan and Susie, this felt like a huge win. Proof that their story was gaining serious traction. They argued that a Netflix documentary could amplify their voices, bring mainstream credibility to their claims, and even push authorities to take action. Wider exposure could mean long overdue accountability for those implicated in the alleged cover-up. But not everyone was convinced. Skeptics were quick to challenge the news. One user, suspected to be connected to Rachel Lamb's troll account, fired back, stating, "Candy Chand, you know this isn't true. At best, an independent production company with a Netflix relationship might be exploring something. But saying Netflix reached out to Jonathan Lamb and Susie Lamb is just another one of your exaggerated claims meant to generate buzz." This revelation sparks a burning question. Just how involved is Netflix? Is the streaming giant actively producing this documentary? Or is an independent filmmaker hoping to land a Netflix distribution deal? While the full truth remains unclear, one thing is certain. Interest in the Daystar scandal isn't fading anytime soon. Major media players are watching closely, and the pressure is mounting. But as the spotlight on Daystar grows brighter, so does the backlash against those daring to expose it. A shocking twist in this unfolding saga involves the targeting of YouTubers who have reported on the scandal. One of the most outspoken critics, a YouTuber known as Torn Curtain, recently revealed that he is now facing intense retaliation from powerful figures within the Christian media world. In his latest video, he doesn't hold back. "I exposed the Daystar TV Joni Lamb Mafia, and now they are trying to expose me." Torn Curtain has built his platform covering high-profile scandals within the charismatic church, Daystar, Mike Bickle, Aisha P. Casey, Robert Morris, Gateway Church, Rick Joyner, Morningstar Ministries. According to him, 2024 has been a relentless wave of church scandals. He never planned to cover these stories, but he felt a fire in his bones. An undeniable calling to bring these dark truths to light. The church must be cleansed of wickedness. Now, he claims powerful individuals linked to Daystar are working to discredit him. He alleges that an anonymous social media account, one he suspects is operated by Rachel Lamb with backing from Daystar, has been harassing him and his supporters. Fake accounts mimicking his ministry have popped up, spreading misinformation. Personal details, even old photos from decades ago, are being dredged up to humiliate and silence him. It's not just him. His allies, including Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson and Ohio for Freedom, are also allegedly being targeted in a coordinated smear campaign. But Torn Curtain refuses to back down. "I've shared my testimony publicly many times. I walked away from the Lord and the church for 5 years. During that time, I got divorced. I've made whole videos about this. My dirt is already out in the open." He draws a sharp contrast between his past and the figures he's exposing. "I was not in ministry during that time, but these leaders, many of them faced serious allegations while still in ministry, and they have not repented. This plan to intimidate me will not work. It will backfire." And just when it seemed the scandal couldn't get any deeper, another bombshell dropped. Julie Roys of The Roys Report conducted a jaw-dropping interview with former Daystar TV insider Melanie Contreras. In a stunning revelation, Melanie shared disturbing new details about Marcus Lamb's years-long affair and the ministry's elaborate cover-up. Her husband, once the head of IT at Daystar, discovered the shocking truth. Marcus was involved in an affair with a woman from a network station. Both Marcus and the woman were married at the time, and the discovery left Melanie and her husband struggling with how to handle such damning information. Desperate for guidance, they turned to their spiritual mentors, Fred and Anna Kendall, founders of Life Languages Ministry. But instead of receiving wisdom and accountability, Melanie says she was met with gaslighting and spiritual manipulation. To be restored after his affair, Marcus and Joni received counseling from the Kendalls. But here's the problem: they had no professional credentials. They weren't licensed. I worked with them for years and saw firsthand their unethical practices. Years later, after attending the Restore conference and hearing other survivors speak out, Melanie felt compelled to break her silence. She realized that by speaking up, she might help others heal from spiritual and emotional abuse. But her story takes an even darker turn. Not only did the Kendalls fail to help her marriage, Melanie claims they actively contributed to its downfall. She alleges that Fred Kendall instructed her husband to control and dominate her rather than provide real counseling. Under Fred's influence, her husband became more aggressive, exerting financial control, making threats, and engaging in psychological abuse. She even recalls witnessing Fred Kendall using the same oppressive tactics on his own wife, dictating what she ate for dinner, controlling every aspect of her life. And in a terrifying moment, she says Fred exploded in rage, physically threatening her. Perhaps most disturbingly, Melanie discovered that confidential details from her counseling sessions were leaked to Daystar TV staff, including Joni Lamb herself. Before she knew it, she was blacklisted from the ministry. Her testimony paints a chilling picture of spiritual abuse, manipulation, and corruption within Daystar, a network that continues to operate under the shadow of scandal. So what's next? If Netflix is indeed moving forward with a documentary, it could push this controversy into the mainstream like never before. But the growing backlash against those exposing these events raises an urgent question. Why are powerful figures so desperate to silence the truth? And now, with former insiders stepping forward to share damning new details, it's clear that the web of deception surrounding Daystar runs deeper than anyone imagined. What do you think? Should Netflix move forward with a documentary on the Daystar scandal? Are these attacks on YouTubers a sign of a cover-up, or just another battle in a long war over truth and accountability? Thank you for always watching and engaging with Faith Unfiltered. Your support means everything. Stay strong in kingdom work. Truth matters, and your voice makes a difference. Keep standing for righteousness, exposing darkness, and shining God's light. Stay bold, stay faithful,